Hey guys, welcome back to another exciting episode of Ernest Fishing. Today I got a little something different for you, a little something special. I'm going to show you guys my electronics today. I'm going to show you what I'm working with, the graphs I use, trolling motor, the live scope, the Garmin. I'm going to show you guys all that today. And hopefully you guys will enjoy it and just kind of see what we're working with this year. So stick around. Hey guys, before we get started, if you've not done so already, please hit that subscribe button, click the little bell, and give us a video a thumbs up, and it really helps me out. And also in the comment section, let me know what you guys are working with this year. I'd love to see you guys set up. All right guys, starting at the front, we have what I like to refer to as the beast. This is the Garmin Force trolling motor. Let me tell you what guys, if you're in the market for a new trolling motor, one with anchor lock, spot lock, however you want to call it, this is the one. This is an extremely powerful motor. I've got this set up on a 24 volt system right now. It can go 24 or 36 depending on you know what you need. If you got like a 21, 22 foot heavy glass boat, you might want to go up to a 36. I've got this set up on 24 because this is an aluminum boat. It is a little bit lighter than a regular boat, but I'm gonna tell you, this thing is an absolute monster when it comes to power, keeping me in the right spot lock, you know, and just all around, you know, I couldn't ask for a more powerful trolling motor. It's got gas assist shocks up and down, super smooth, super quiet. This is a brushless motor, so you don't get as much motor noise as you would with a traditional trolling motor. Also, one thing I really like about it is that when you start it up and stop it, like if you've got on a high speed, instead of it initially just going straight to 100, there's kind of a little bit of a delay as it gets up to speed. Now, if I've got this on wide open, you know, usually with you know, some other trolling motors in the past, you know, you got it on wide open, you forget you got it on wide open, you got it kicked to the left or right, you hit that button and it just about throws you out of the boat. This does not do that. It is powerful, but it takes just a little bit of a delay to get up to that full speed, and I really like that. And also when you cut it off, it's not just a quick cut off. You know, it kind of slows down just for a second enough to, you know, to me, it doesn't disturb the water as much, and it doesn't give away your position to the fish as much. That's just a theory of mine. Can't prove it, but that is it. But this Garmin Force trolling motor, this is an absolute powerhouse. I'll take you out on the water now and show you kind of the spot lock features and just how fast this thing will push this little boat. So let's get out on the water and we'll try that. Spot lock. All right guys, there is a spot lock feature. I know that you're not going to be able to tell a lot about it right now, simply because, you know, I'm not in just a tremendous amount of current. I do have a little bit of a wind here, but it's not terrible. You know, I have had this in you know, you guys have seen me fish Saucer Creek, and that is below Bay Springs, and that is, I fish a lot close to the lock. And I'm gonna tell you guys, when they let the water out of that lock, that water rushes down through that canal, and basically, if you want to stay in one spot, you got to crank your big motor. I was down there a couple of weeks ago, pulled up on a spot. I was still about a mile from the dam, or the lock, and honestly, I just got there, dropped the trolling motor, put the spot lock on, was getting some rods out, looked around and saw the buoy move beside me. Didn't even realize that the lock had turned loose. Water was rushing. My boat did not move. That is awesome. Also comes with a remote. I know some you had to buy extra remote. This came with a remote, and the remote is awesome. It's got a bunch of features that to control the trolling motor. So I'm going to use that right now. We're going to do a speed test. We're going to see how fast this trolling motor will push my 19 Tracker 195. And yeah, let's do that. So I'm on anchor lock right now. Just kick that, take it off anchor lock. And I tell you what, let's start that. One cool feature is you can push this button, which looks like a little knob, and I can point my trolling motor. Nope, that's heading hold. That's the wrong button. Ah, there it is. Okay, see, I can point the remote any way I want, and that trolling motor is going to go that way. That is a pretty awesome feature. That's that. It's an M. Don't know what they call it, but all right, here we go. Prop is up. You know what? I'm headed into the wind. Let's do that first. Let's head into the wind. All right. All right, we got it cranked all the way up. I've probably got, you know, a pretty good headwind here at me. See, I'm going. It says I'm going 2.6 miles an hour into the wind. Let's check. Let's check back here. See if we can check our speed. 2.86. Remote says 2.9. 2.9 says almost 3 miles an hour in a headwind. And that's with the motor down. 3.2. That's pretty impressive. And I'm kicking up a weight back here. I don't know if you guys can see that too much. That is, you know, pretty well idle speed. And like I said, I'm heading into the wind. Let's turn around. Whoa. Let's go with the wind and see how we do. All right, let's get her cranked up. All right, getting turned around. Like I said, it's not too bad of a wind today. Okay, I'm kind of headed with the wind. About, you know, I'm almost dead calm, so it's about 3 mile an hour wind. So, GPS speed 313, 314. The remote says 3.1. So, yeah, you know, that spot lock. And the spot lock is awesome. The speed on it is great. I'm never going to have it wide open like that. I don't fish that fast. I usually keep that on about 20 to 30%, I would say, is really what I keep my trolling motor on. So, and that's not fast, and it lasts me all day. I haven't noticed a drain in the batteries at all. So I'm really impressed with that trolling motor. If you guys are in the market, I do highly suggest the Garmin force trolling motor. And you know, a lot of people say that some of these trolling motors are loud. Let's see if you can. I know you can't hear it. I mean, yeah, it's a little bit. Just because, you know, you're going back and forth. It is an electric motor. The only thing that I would say is, it's not a negative, just takes getting used to, is the foot pedal. Now, it's wireless, and compared to a cable drive, it's pretty loose. I've got her tightened up all the way, and it's still, you know, you don't get that cable drive feel. I know that with the Minn Kota, you do. I think it's like a motor assist. I'm not sure. But you still got that cable drive feel. This one's pretty loose. Feeling, it's not loose, it's just real easy. And it's just taking, you know, getting that muscle memory of your feet to, you know, knowing where you're at. You know, before I didn't even have to look at the trolling motor. I knew the position of my foot, how it was, where I was going to be facing. So it's just getting used to it. The buttons, I do not have a big foot, but sometimes I do hit these buttons on occasion. This is a heading hold. I turned it off. That was a great feature to do. That's constant on, anchor lock, of course up and down, power on. But yeah, that is the trolling motor. So yeah, let's move on and show you guys the live scope. All right, my live scope setup. You guys know that when I got this boat, I got the full Garmin setup. That's what we're going over today. And I did get the live scope system, and I could not be happier with it. If you guys crappie fish at all, you know, most of the top guys that you guys see out there, they got a live scope. And now the bass tournaments are now being won on a live scope. So I love this thing, still getting used to it, still getting used to, you know, how far out I can look and still have an effective picture. It's just, you know, with any electronics that you got to put the time in to really dial them in to your style of fishing and to really learn them. That's why you see the guys who are the top guys who are electronics, you know, known as electronics guys. They take the time to learn these electronics. And that means not fishing some days, but you've got to take the time to learn them. One thing also that I did get is the perspective mount. And I'll show you guys this out on the water. This gives you a, I compare it to the Humminbird 360, how it gives you, you know, kind of the full 360 view. This has kind of like a, I'm not sure, maybe it's not a full 90 degrees, it's not a 45, maybe somewhere in the medium, like maybe a 60-degree field of view. And let me tell you guys, you can see a lot of detail in the water, especially if you bass fish. You know, you may run down a bluff wall and think, well, you know, it's just a straight bluff wall, but, you know, 10 feet out of the water, 20 feet down in the water, there may be a laydown. You would never know before, but now, with the Panoptics and with the perspective mount, you know that cover is there. Especially if you're a structure guy, you like to fish brush piles and laydowns and trees offshore. That perspective mode is really going to help you guys out. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the summertime ledge fishing and learning that as well. But we've got perspective view on this. You can look forward and you can look straight down. I'll show you guys all that here once we get out on the water. So I'm going to put this back up, and let's get into the graphs now. All right, folks, we are in the boat now, and let me show you the actual graphs themselves and what I went with. This one, and they are both the same up on the front and right here. These are Garmin EcoMap Ultra. These are the 10-inch versions. I've got a bunch of options to deal with here. Still getting used to this system. You know, you guys have seen me in the past. I'm die-hard Humminbird, but new boat, wanted to change things up and you know, just kind of see what was out there. I've used Humminbird for 20 years. It was tough for me to change, but you know, just kind of wanted the live scope system, so I thought, you know what, let's just get the full setup. You know how bass guys are, we're always mixing and matching. I can always sell it. If I don't like this graph, I've still got the old Humminbird I'll stick on here. But let's just, let me kind of get going a little bit and show you guys some of these features that I like, some of them I don't like. And you know, first off, let's look at the mapping on this. This came preloaded with a couple of the maps, just the standard mapping that you get. Now, I will say that for a base map, the Garmin base map here is pretty good. Don't really have any complaints about it. You don't have a lot of the features like, you know, here's a good example right here of the base map options. You know, a lot of them don't have these depth lines. They've just kind of got a basic map. It's good for basic navigation, but if you really want to dial it in, you want those contour lines, you want to be able to highlight your depths. This base map here is pretty good with that. I can't really complain about that. The only thing I don't like about it is I can't adjust my lake levels. You know, I'm on Pickwick today, and a lot of the lakes that I fish, the water fluctuates up and down. So being able to adjust that on the map really aids in navigation. But is it a deal breaker? No, I just remember how, you know, where I'm at, what the depth is. You can see right now here I'm in a real shallow pocket, but you know, it's a pretty decent as far as base maps goes. I can get the ultra mapping, I think they call it. I'm not sure the name of it, and I probably will. It's another $200. And I got a little upset about that at first, but you know, if you buy a Humminbird or a Lowrance, you have to buy those Lake Master chips or whatever, so they're comparable, and you can do pretty much the same ways. But for a base map, this is pretty good. It's got the depth lines and everything, which some of the other units don't. They may now. I haven't bought a new unit in a few years, but for a base map, it's good. Let's take a look at some of the sonar options. I'm not in too much of a contour depth right now, but you can see this is one of the maps that I usually run. I've got side imaging over here, down imaging, and it's got chirp sonar, the ultra high def sonar for your traditional 2D. You got down imaging, you got your side imaging. Comparable to a Humminbird, it's decent. I've got a Humminbird, mine's a Gen 2, side imaging, the whole works, and you know, it's pretty comparable to that. I'll tell you what, let's do. I'm coming up on a bridge right now, and I'll show you guys how it looks over here. All right, I'm coming up to a bridge. I hope it's not too loud, and I hope you guys can see this pretty well. Let me see if I can get as close as I can. Let me show you the bridge. That's what I'm coming up at, and let's show you how it looks, and see if you guys can get any, and show you the detail. There's some fish there suspended. You can see the side imaging. You see them. Down imaging, traditional. Well, there's a lot of fish under there. You can see the poles coming through there. So, you know, as far as, is it comparable to Humminbird? I think so. Some guys fishing over there. Hope I don't think I'm crazy. But comparable to Humminbird. I know Humminbird's got some new stuff. I've not had a chance to look at the Gen 4 stuff that's out. But I got a Gen 2, it's mega imaging, and it is comparable to that. So I do really like that. So that, you know, and it's got a ton of other features that I won't get into. There's tons of videos out there, but that's my setup. That's one of the screens that I use a lot. So, so yeah, that is, that's the one I got on the console. The one up front has got the Panoptics. I've got the perspective mode, down view, forward view. Let me move to a different area to where there's, you know, I know there's some brush and some stuff that's usually hanging out, and we'll take a look at that and kind of show you that, and so you guys can see that in a little better detail. I'm kind of in a flat pocket right now, so there's not just a ton of detail to get on that. So let me jump up there, and we'll move to a different area and check that out. All right, guys, we are up here and we are looking at live scope. This is the same graph that is on the console. It's the 10-inch EcoMap Ultra, and hopefully you can see. I know there's a glare and you can kind of see my reflection, but you can see right there, there's fish right there just kind of cruising around. You can see them, and that's actually look like the way they're acting is bass. That looks like some shad there, and I lost them. Okay, you can kind of see some fish down here on the bottom. Here's some more. Here we're coming up on a school there. There's some chasing fish right there. Looks like maybe a brush pile. I know it's hard to see on this thing, but that's kind of an example of live scope. Now, the crappie guys who have this, they've really got her dialed in. I mean, they can tell you the size of the fish. Not got that good yet. Hope to be one day, but I'm really looking for using this for bass. Really getting that out to maybe like 100 foot. I got it on like 20 foot right now. Scanning out to maybe like a full cast length, so I can see the fish, see how they react to my lures. There's a ton of live scope videos out there that do a far better job than I do. This is just kind of my setup for today, but that is the forward looking sonar. They call that on the bass. You can kind of see right here, there's some fish coming. Hopefully you guys can see that. Oops. These aren't touchscreen, by the way. Let's see if we can change the color. Here it's color scheme, black emerald. There we go, I can see that a little bit better. Yeah, you can see that a lot better. You can see all those fish swimming around down there. There's some coming through here. There's some through here. Got a lot of bait fish in the area right now, which makes it tough to catch fish. But you know, there are a ton of fish out there, a ton of schooling fish right now. But you know, most of them are suspended, so suspended fish are hard to catch. Let me switch this to perspective mode, which is probably what I've gotten used to using here lately, just for structure. And I'll get kind of close to the bank and show you guys that view and kind of what it looks like and how I'm going to be using it, because I'm pretty close to a little creek and a bluff. So let's show you guys what that looks like. Let me get it switched around. All right, here is perspective mode. I'm kind of out in the middle of nowhere. You can see some little blobs here and here. That's kind of bait fish roaming around. The only thing about perspective mode is it doesn't show you how deep they are. Still getting used to all of my, there you can see, whew, that brightened her up. There's some here, fish here. We got fish everywhere. It's just, you know, the live scope's not going to tell you how deep they are or what species they are. So got this set out to 75 feet. You can kind of see the field of view here. Got a pretty wide swath. It's not 90 degrees, it's probably about 60 or 70 degrees. Let's get closer to the bank and show you that. All right, here's kind of an example of what you guys can see on perspective mode. You see, this is just kind of a retaining wall, and it's, you know, kind of got a lot of ridges in it. It's kind of bowed out in some spaces. But if you're looking here on live scope, you can see that in all that detail. Scanning down it, actually there's some fish on it. But let me kind of go in on the range a little bit. Yeah, you can see the more that you get within range of stuff and closer to stuff, the better the detail is going to be. I'm just kind of scanning down it. You can kind of see what I'm talking about. Show you that as I'm scanning around now. I know there's some brush here coming up. If I can scan and find it. It's kind of tough sometimes. These water levels here have been fluctuating a lot, and it's dirty. So okay, let's get the gain up a little bit. Oh, that's too much. Okay, you can kind of see the ridges in the wall over here. That is kind of, I'm kind of coming up on a bluff a little bit, as you can see. And a lot of times you just have to play with the gain settings on here. A lot of times you got to play with the color settings on here as well. But you can see that detail on that perspective mode coming up on that bluff. Trying to scan. I know that there is a stake bed around here. If I can just find it. That may be it there. But you guys kind of get the gist of that. Let me get out of here. All right, folks, that's just kind of the gist and a kind of a brief overview of what I'm working with this year. I know I didn't go into a lot of detail, but I'm still getting used to it, and I don't like to tell people stuff that I don't know what I'm talking about. So I could have made up a bunch of stuff, but I wasn't going to do that. If I don't know what I'm talking about, I ain't going to tell you. But that's what I'm working with. Couldn't be more pleased with it. Water's kind of dirty right here where I am, so the detail on those was not as great as I wanted. But the wind's kind of kicked up here, and you know, it kind of muddied up a little bit, and I wanted to show more detail, but I'll get to that at a different time. But you know, thank you guys for watching. If you're interested in any of this equipment that I'm using this year, I'll leave links below. You guys can check it out for yourself, decide what you want. I'm still getting used to it myself, but each time I go out I learn something new, and that's the most important. If you got any questions about any of this stuff and maybe I missed something, just drop a comment below. If you guys got any tips for me, please drop a comment below. I could use all the help that I can get. But the wind's kind of kicking up. It's getting kind of cool out here, so I'm gonna head on to the house. Guys, thank you for watching. If you've not subscribed, please do. And yeah, I'm gonna put my jacket on and get on toward the house. And actually, I'm off work this morning, so I gotta go back to work. So thank you guys. Love each and every one of you. And I'm the Bass Man, Ernest, and we'll see you guys down the road.